Y'all better get back in towards that nest. There's a couple of shooters right there, I think. Mm-hmm. I just spilled coffee. I freaked out so much. Mm-hmm. new truck. Coffee spilled. Big bucks on the road. Deer literally everywhere. Let's get up towards the spot.
You gonna drink that or you gonna nurse it? Come on.
Wow! Alright, let's hunt.
And the cool thing is that's public land right there. You just saw the signs.
I mean, should we hunt right there?
Nah, there, bud.
Looking good, dude.
Sun's not even coming up yet. We're doing pretty good. No, Zach and I are gonna try to slide into the buck nest again this morning. We went in the other day and the creek is super dry. So it's set up really good for us just to kind of sneak down it and listen and pop out and check stuff out. So the goal this morning is to get back in there early enough and just be kind of set up over a place where the creek really straightens out and just kind of watch for deer to cross that and be on a crossing probably ourselves where we can shoot a trail and then also move on something if it crosses up in front of us, or at least get eyes on it and get it roosted and try to move on it throughout the day, or hopefully get to them by the afternoon. But saw a lot of deer on the way here. It's looking pretty good, so we're just gonna try to get in there while it's still early, and hopefully the deer just start piling back on top of us. I think on the way out, let's just look for arrowheads, and we'll be moving slow enough too, where if something silly happens, because like we could easily walk through all this. There's deer up top, and then we come back out, and like we're just messing around, looking for arrowheads, and all of a sudden you hear something up top. You gotta start with and then they perk up and face you like this, and their ears are just. I mean, we got footage. Oh, we can show what I mean, but they give you that. Alright, so as you can see, this is the straightaway we were kind of talking about. And we saw several bucks kind of dump down into this the other day and cross it. I mean, cross this creek all the time. They're going to the private land fields for the most part, but then they come back into this bedding area. That was the hope, at least, just to see something, right? A gray light or first light. But we got all this dew and rain dropping off the trees around us, making quite a bit of noise, and we can be so quiet. Walking down this creek, I think we're just going to slip up along this edge, staying close to cover, hopefully. Where if something drops down in here, we can still get eyes on it and have enough cover. And either get a shot at it if it's close enough or move up on it. But I think what we're also going to do is just sneak up and keep popping up out of the bank and looking out into the bedding area. And we might pop up within range of something too, because we can be really quiet getting up this bank. So here we go. Well, you got that. I got that. We're just slipping up this edge. We're going to put a camera right here. And just stopped out in the open. Probably shouldn't have done that, but we won't anymore. You said that a couple of years ago, too. Yeah. You got to remind yourself every year. Take something like that happening, and you just hope it's not a big buck the first time. Luckily, it wasn't. The fog's going to be burned off not too long here. I'd say they'll probably get up and start doing some stuff. I'd say what we just saw is an example. Luckily not. How far? Can I move? taste it all, can you? I can't either. We must be good. You might have heard us move up here. I don't think he would spook, though. He's got to be standing, though, huh? Roasted. Good eyes, bud. Our plans for the whole entire morning just changed. This is one of those situations that you love to be in. I'd say we should be able to get pretty close to him if he stays there and there's no deer between him and us. Which, both those things might not be the case, but see him look at that branch that broke? Yeah, something just popped over there to our left. He turned his head. I'm shaking a little bit. Don't say that. I always try to tell myself, oh, they're not that big even. I thought there was a low spot that you guys took up in there one time. But maybe not. I mean, there's a really good deer trail to our left regardless, so if he lays back down or he disappears right there, we can sneak down that pretty easily, I'd say. Hopefully. I hope he just lays down right there, man. He's doing something now. He's turning to the right. Looking to the left. He's acting like he's gonna do something here. Yeah, I think so too. It might just be about to lay down. You want him there. He just disappeared. I don't know if he's licking himself or if he lay down. You see him? Alright, so just been still hunting all morning. It's real calm out. But it's damp. It rained last night. It's real dewy. Super foggy. It's just starting to burn off. And I've just been slipping up through the buck nest, kind of popping out of the creek, checking spots, and then didn't really run into much or see much, so we popped up on the bank. We were walking along this property line here, kind of. We were just talking about how the sun burned off all the fog, and it seems like when stuff like that happens, deer will get up and at least just adjust and check around. We ran into some deer behind us that were on their feet, and I don't know if this deer here just heard us walking up here and stood up, but we were low enough where he couldn't see us, or if he was standing up for that reason, just adjusting because the fog burned off. But regardless, Zach saw him before he could see us. It's another one of those situations where all you can see is antlers, so if you can't see their eyes, I mean, we know he couldn't see us, but he definitely acted like he heard something over in this direction. He was kind of looking straight at us when we first saw him. And then he calmed back down. I don't think he was ever really alert. He was just standing up to check things out. Either way, we're hoping that he laid back down there. He's in such tall stuff that we can't see. We couldn't see him like go down or anything, but it would make a lot of sense for him just to maybe have been bedded there and stood up when he heard us, and then going back down and just laid back down. Kind of like that buck Zach just shot in North Dakota. So our wind's kind of going that way, or at least it was earlier. It's not really doing that much, but I think we gotta try to go that way. There should be a deer trail over there. Hopefully there is, so we can just crawl right up and get close to this thing. Only issue we're gonna have is we're gonna be directly in the sun. We can't get to the shadows just because our wind will be blowing them out with our wind by that point. So it's gonna be a tough situation, but I think we're gonna be able to get pretty close to this thing before we either spook it or kill it. So that's the plan. We're gonna try to start figuring mixing your colors up, hope you don't mind. Let me know where I need more. We're gonna need a lot of it, right?
This is gonna make or break you, dude. Seriously.
I get some on my face. I think we should maybe spend as much time one person up, one person crawling as possible, just so we don't lose him. So you can move back a ways if you want, not watch. Might just crawl most of it. I think I'd like to move like 20, 30 yards and then you watch and then come up to me, alright? Yeah. Try to go straight at him pretty much because I want. Yeah. It's just gonna be that sun. I mean, it's the same situation as that one you just killed. Like, he's gonna see us or hear us at some point. It's just a matter of if we can get a shot at him before he figures it out. I mean, ideally, he's just, like, we sneak up there, he's still bedded, and, like, we can somehow get a shot, but I don't see that. Or that's what we're gonna try to do, but also gonna have to be ready to... I'm in the deer's 80 yards right now, so... I think when I'm moving, I'll just get a little thing beat down for 4 or 5 yards, and then I'll let you catch up to me. But you watch when I'm doing that, because I feel really confident that he's still there, and I think that like we're moving so slow that even if he does hear us, he's just gonna stand up again. If we can know when he does that, and what he does, he might lay back down, or he might get up and just move off real slow. Like I just want to know. Because, like, we're so close to him already. I mean, not within range, but it's just so calm. I just don't know what he can hear. I'd imagine it's pretty dampened just because we're so low and it's so wet, but it's hard to know what he can hear. I'd say that's good that we can see that little guy. That means if he stands up, you'd think for sure. Like, I think we would have seen him leave, I guess is what I'm saying. He's coming right at us. Hopefully he walks right by us. This way, do you see him? He might get that big guy up, I'd say. I lost the small buck. I think he might have went right to where that big one was. Or is. Guess. 50 right now. Get up there, it'll be almost 45, I'd say. Let's do that. Just chill out for a little bit at least. Looking our way again, not right at us. You see him? Turn to the right. What? She's turned away from us now. Just let me know if he does anything different than what he's doing. Okay. What's that? To the right. Turn, you see that thing? I don't know. I just saw his body movement. Yeah, he's moving to the right. I might stand up just so I can keep eyes on him. You see him? I told him right now. He's right underneath that tree to the right of us. should try to stand up. Probably not. He's under that little cottonwood or ash. Yeah, the cottonwood. He's like 2 yards to the left, but he just put his head down now. Still right there. Do you see him? No, right at the top. He's just getting bad in that shadow. Hopefully, we'll see him if he leaves, if we're watching hard enough. I'll kind of watch to the left if you can watch to the right. Alright, so I don't know what time it is, probably around 10 o'clock, a little after 10 o'clock. I bet we're 50 yards from those trees up there, about 45 yards. And he's real close to that cottonwood. We're pretty sure he bedded back down. The stuff is so tall that you can't see it, you can't see him go down, just like I talked about when we were back there further. But we're both pretty confident that if he went to the right or left or straight away from us, we would have at least caught a glimpse of his antlers walking off. So unless he just walked away with his head down the whole time, pretty sure he's right there. We're just chilling out though, because it seems like we're getting a little more of a breeze now, and if that picks up, that's going to be really nice. Just for cover noise, and the wind is perfect right now. We're in a good spot right now. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, but this is our cover. But it's giving us some shade where we can stand up and see that buck, because if we're down on our knees, I don't know that we're going to for sure see him leave if he does. So we're going to stand up, use this for shade, and we're going to be able to get eyes on his antlers, I think, before he sees us. And if we need to, we can get down. Just give it some more time here and see if we can learn anything else about where these other deer are at, or if there's any other deer around. I've seen grass move there a couple times. He might just be bedded down there and moving around his head or something. I think he is. That's where I last saw him before, too. That's where I last saw him. That's what it is, then I would assume. If that little buck spooks, obviously just be ready for something wild to happen. Like, instincts might kick in too, and I might just start running at that thing. Yeah, do whatever. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I know you will. We're 35 from that tree right now. The ash. I don't know. I think when we get to the other side of that canary grass, we're within 25 yards of him. Where if he stands up, and I mean, he's going to be in a lot of stuff, but there might be a chance where he pops into a pocket where we get a shot at him trying to work up there too. Because I think that furthest tree on the left, you know which one I'm talking about there. I think that's how far he is, about maybe a little closer even. More west now, seems like. It's going south, I guess. Just like at like 27 right now, and I'd rather not shoot that far if we don't have to. Just don't want him to get up all of a sudden, because it's full sun out here, and head back into the shade, straight away from us, kind of. Because he's already kind of on that side of the thick stuff. Me too. Me too. still running, we can get down, but probably about it. Must have swirled. It just started doing that.
Dude, I thought there was no way.
He never looked at us. He didn't see us or hear us.
He didn't see us. He didn't know we were there.
Because he was looking this way.
Something happened with the wind. Dang, and I never thought it would in a million years.
It was good the whole time. Until then, obviously.
He was right there, though. He's 25.
I mean,
it's the closest I've ever been to one. He was 25 yards. I wish I would know that I got it. I'm standing there at point blank, but he was there.
Yeah.
I thought we had more time, so I was trying to move slow.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was running.
It wasn't like, I thought he was maybe just standing up, because I just saw his antlers. I couldn't see if he was alert or anything. He must have been, he was looking this way. And I don't know what else you do besides that. It's just like, yeah. I mean, I thought he might be stopped down the creek or stop on that other side there.
I mean,
at that point,
I ran really fast.
I didn't think we were going to catch him.
Well, I thought we might catch him.
He blew out of there. That's one of those deals too where, like we talked about, if he would have just not smelled us, like he just heard us or saw us a little bit, where he could just bound off to 30 yards and then we lace him, just got our wind. And honestly, I was never worried about that, really. I mean, I was checking it just to make sure, but it was always going that way from him, like 180 degrees. It was never going even his direction at all. It was staying pretty much straight east or straight west and then picking up and going south, it looked like. But apparently not. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Maybe that's what we've been walking around for 3 days trying to do.
Really, that's the first deer we've actually blown that hard.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. We were 25 yards from
him. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, you're either going to have that happen or you're going to get a shot at them. You get to a point, like if you can get eyes on one and the conditions are right or they're in the right spot where you can get within range. Like that was pretty easy, really. Just moving slow enough. I mean, I shouldn't say it's easy, but like as long as you're not walking like a human. Like I'm sure he heard us at points while we were moving through that stuff, but we're never constantly just moving like a human does. That's the thing. He knows there's other deer out here, but he never even really stood up except for the first time that he probably heard us. But then the whole time we were sneaking in there, like I don't think he ever even knew we were coming until he got a whiff of us there. You could see his head, and like we were still down like this. So if he got up and started feeding like he did the first time, put his head down once, you pop up, you're standing straight up, and this stuff. I mean, it's tall enough for when they lay down. It's real similar to where you shot that one in North Dakota.
That's exactly the same setup, except he ran without an arrow going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, good job. That was pretty awesome. This one, pretty easy shot.
Yeah.
I really think had he stood up, started browsing, as soon as he turned his head, you could have just shot him easy. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to revisit this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about a bunch of different things, but it's just like when you get that close, sometimes it feels like there's a certain time limit because the wind's inevitably going to swirl in like most spots that bucks like that are laying down, especially when it's calm like this. Like they're going to probably put themselves in a place where they're going to be getting wind kind of from all over. And it's just like, if he would have stood up naturally 20 minutes earlier, like maybe everything's different. It's just, it seems like there's, once you get so close to him, there's a certain amount of time you got to kill him unless, like the wind was just howling that way, and it was perfect.
It wasn't the sound that killed us, it was the calmness and how that wind is variable, where it's like, kind of kicks this way, then kind of kicks this way.
And I think some people might watch that and be like, why would you go in there and blow them out? It's just like, I don't know, to watch some of the other videos where it's like, at least you and I feel like, and I don't know who else does, but like if you have eyes on something, a lot of people are just like, oh, I'll come back tomorrow. It's just like, who knows if that buck's going to be over there or get hit by a car tomorrow. Like, who knows where he's going to be. If you know where they're at that day, we weren't going to leave here until we either did that or killed them. And like, got within 25 yards, and I don't regret doing that at all.
Dude, that's the closest I've ever been to a buck in a buck nest. I think at any point something could go right, but like up to this point we've just been unbelievably cursed in this place. It's just like, I have so many memories of getting, like, close. Never that close. But I don't know. It's wild. It's like, how can you not kill a buck?
He's a good one.
He stood up. That's like 9-point. Decent.
High horned. It's just like, I always try to tell myself, oh, it's not that big.
He was.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, he just looks big because he can't see his body. And then he runs out of there. And it's just like, oh, it's a horse with antlers.
Oh, he's got a neck on him, too. He's got a neck to boot.
I'm sure we're going to think of a million different things, but one thing I'm thinking is, like, if it would have just hung back at like 30, 35 and just waited for him to get up, it's just like, it's a wild animal, so you never know. It's like, I think both you and I were just worried at some point, like, it's going to get hot today on this field. I think we thought he was probably going to go to the shade and the bigger timber if he's going to go anywhere. And I just wanted to be kind of where we could shoot him if he went to that stuff. I didn't want to hang out of range of him. I don't want to take, like, we're at 30 and I wanted to be at 25 at least, because like, I just don't want to have to set up for that shot.
Yeah, I mean, everything we did was based off that shadow. We believed he was shifting this way, and when he did shift, he went that way.
Mm-hmm. He moved into the shade again.
I don't think that he's necessarily leaving this field, but I don't know that he's... And if he moves into that patch of timber, we probably aren't going to keep eyes on him. I mean, who cares, dude? We got aggressive, and that's what we want to do, and now we can potentially do it again today. Mm-hmm. That's the crazy thing.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm going to go back over and see the scene here and just kind of see what he was doing when he was bedded. Alright.
19 yards.
How far?
19.
That's awesome. You should see how absurd this bed is. It's about as big as they get. That's a bed, son. That's about as big as they come.
He's been home.
Look at this little patch of shade, though, dude.
Yeah.
Right on the edge of the sun.
He was in real good shade here when we started because all of it was casted off.
That was the first bed he was in.
He just kept moving when the sun would go that way. He was just following the shade.
So he was a heck of a lot closer than we thought, even.
I kept ranging this right here is what my last reference was for him.
I think right here he would have had a tough time getting through that. But as soon as he went like right to this other bed, he would have had an easy lane through this stuff.
Maybe next year. That would have been nice to hear.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure your lighted knock turned on after.
Yeah, I did.